Wait a second, is this an ampersand, a symboid, or is it a typographic? And why are they teasing that movie before we've even gotten Challenge of the Geometrons?
I can be calm and bored.
Kids.
Hang on, we gotta find a place to land.
Rick comes here to collect space debris while being unprepared to deal with space debris, so an emergency landing can be born and the will of the episode fulfilled.
Clones, biotrash.
After all the Rick die repeating and daughter cloning, you'd think Rick would be less flippant about the otherwise conceived, or that the episode would wink at us as a reminder that it knows that it's been leaning pretty hard on the clone-driven storylines.
We don't want to stop here. This is the Morty part of town, if you know what I'm saying.
Are you saying all Mortys are gingers?
What's that guy's deal?
Morty, I can't imagine anything worse than having to know.
You don't have to imagine at all, because I'll tell you that by the end of this episode, we will witness a fun John Wickian murder spree, but never get much insight into this Rick's deal beyond his previous employment or have any clue as to what this corn slurry is used for. Not choosing a more expansive license plate with a higher character limit so you could fit the full phrase of B0063RA1D5.
Are you one of us? Did we have an overalls guy? Just trying to leave with my stuff.
The fact that just answering yes to this question would have probably worked, and that this Rick is, for some reason, not being Rick enough to try it.
Just making small talk. Long elevator.
This fun NPC banter, which I'm being forced to experience. It's like the elevator ride is only here to mask the fact that the next level is loading. Missing from this episode is the story of how Mutton Chops Morty somehow managed to score having a soda at the bar duty, while every other Morty at the new Citadel is a servant or the subject of genetic experiments.
I can monologue while we wait.
Roll textbook villainy.
You ever wonder why I'm an overweight Southern Railroad baron?
Don't know, don't care. Mostly because the answer will have nothing to do with Taco Bell or Railroad Tycoon. Rick resurrecting robots readily repairing ruptures. Also, the gang of Ricks used precious time and resources to kill his animals, trash his farm, and leave him a poop-scrawled message, as if they knew he would have the fortitude of Rasputin. It's a lot of credit to give a farmer Rick that you only met seconds before shooting a bazillion times. Tori Anus was right there. I'll buy Homesteader Rick's truck computer matching a shard glass to a bottle from a specific brewery on a completely different planet. What I want to see is how he managed to fish this specific piece of glass out of the rubble of an entire town without scanning it and finding out that it matches a bottle from a specific brewery on a completely different planet.
A new Citadel. You Ricks don't have many original ideas, do you?
Morty says writer's weird.
I'm off to a dimension where racism is cool.
Isn't racism's whole deal spreading irrational fear and anger? Like, if there was a dimension where everyone was just cool with it, would anyone really enjoy it? Or is this like an aesthetic thing where racism has slick back hair and a leather jacket and says things like, "Hey"?
And what's your big plan? I mean, after I teabag your mom?
I don't see what's funny about offering to have afternoon tea with someone's mother.
Where's your boss? Up your butt and around the corner. That's where this barrel is going if you don't start talking. Up your butt or my butt?
It's a moot point. That barrel's not long enough to round a rectal corner.
All we did was shoot you, man. You can't take that personally.
People who forget they on someone's floor and then on their taste in music.
I hope I bleed out before I have to burn to death.
There is no need to be this dramatic. Just say, "Please drag me away from the fire in the direction that Rick is currently leaving." It just struck me how often we've seen children die on this show. Sure, it's mostly just different versions of the one kid, but still a lot of child death.
It's the best Morty cloning scientist, and from the looks of these boys, he's still got it.
Big Rick would have come to the opposite conclusion had he seen the state of the pigs at the farm. The sin is making assumptions based on incomplete information.
This is such a head
Have you watched Rick and Morty? This twist barely qualifies as head foreplay.
This is non-clone piece of shit. Nah, we don't need to be so unpleasant with each other. I'd love to offer you your old job back.
Getting bashed on the head and called a piece of shit prior to getting the job offer being more desirable than writing another f***ing cover letter.
I'm no better than any of you. I'm just self-loathing about it.
Stealing my winning campaign slogan from when I ran for senior class president.
All right now, think that's large enough.
Title of my sex tape? The fact that Big Rick doesn't see something like this coming when he turned over his cloning device to a Rick he himself described as the expert at cloning.
Kill that abomination!
Encouraging everyone in the room to attack your accent. Critiquing this show for its impossible technology and devices may be pedantic and pointless, but I can see how thick the roof of this Rick-up truck is. This gun is going to need a fun IKEA name if I'm going to believe it's flat pack. You get the drop on a guy who's out of ammo, yet you still don't get a shot off. Why would they give a cool mohawk to f around with every intention of finding out Rick?
You certainly are a burr in my saddle.
Portaling without a portal device. Unless it's in the cane, in which case I would have liked to seen how that worked.
Someone made you with sayaks, all those sweaty parts and nipply bits.
One of my father's more ambitious attempts at the talk somehow makes it into the episode.
You're under the delusion of something called the auteur myth. Truth is, any big project is made in collaboration.
Sure, auteur theory is the oversimplification of a cake that many hands were needed to bake, but big projects aren't completely democratic in their creation either. If that were the case, Rick and Morty would have descended into fascism somewhere around season 5.
Au revoir, son. You rich!
Sitting here and exploding instead of portaling away to safety.
Maybe he survived it?
Sure, that was a very heavy citadel that just fell on him, but you can't just yada yada the death of a Rick that earlier survived all the bullets going through his body.
What do we do now? Go home? We decide where home is, for each of us.
We'll then see a bunch of Mortys dropped off on different planets all by themselves. Couldn't some of them have decided that home was sticking together? I hate to poo-poo this ending because it feels like a positive change, but it also makes me feel very lonely.
I think my Morty dropped his fidget spinner down here.
Found it! I told you I checked between the seats.
When you're right, Morty.
Morty's fidget spinner has moved from the cornfield where they made the emergency landing to this grave site that is too close to the house. And that's just not how centripetal acceleration works.
Again! Not again. Oh.
Damn, this is nice corn.
Did you think corn wasn't real?
We're closed.
Wendell, you don't work here.
So I'm the only one who misses when we used to chat in the elevators back on the Citadel.
We have the technology. We can rebuild him.
Whoa, what the f are you doing with your life?
I used to LeBron James.
Now stand aside, worthy adversary.
'Tis but a scratch.
A scratch? Your arm's off.
All right now, think that's large enough. Get your mouth round it.